It is time for Game 2 of this ACC Ranked Series. Number 20, Florida State, the victors by a lot last night, looking to take the series, while number 12, Wake Forest, looks to salvage a game and get into a rubber match on Sunday. Welcome to you from David F. Couch Ballpark with Coach Dick Cook. I'm Darren Vaught. We're glad you're here. Coach, it was all Florida State. Quite the statement made by the Seminoles yesterday.
Yeah, if you're Wake Forest, you left the ballpark last night, you erased that result immediately. If you're Florida State, you try to avoid the mindset of this game of baseball is really easy. This is going to be a big one today with two different styles starting pitchers.
Let's start with Florida State's offense. They won 10-0 in run rule fashion, in part due to a season-high 5 home runs.
And they didn't get cheated at any of them. They did a great job last night of hitting mistakes and making Morningstar pay for them.
Miles Bailey got the home run party started. Eli Putnam with a pair of long balls, his second and third of the season. Wes Mendez, the lefty starter, was spectacular.
Command of 4 pitches. He threw strikes. He changed speeds. He worked fast. It was an impressive outing at a night that definitely played to the favor of the offense, given the wind conditions.
The starter for Wake Forest today will be their sophomore star, Chris Levonas.
Boy, an exciting right-handed pitcher. Probably wasn't at his best outing-wise last weekend. But power, fastball, 2 really good breaking balls, and a feel for his change.
Levonas starts with a miss high on an off-speed pitch to John Stutzer, the leadoff batter for Florida State. There's the fastball, 97 on the in-stadium radar. Drops one in off speed to make it 1-2.
You'll see a good mix of sliders and curveballs from Levonas. The 2 breaking balls he's thrown thus far appear to be sliders. And he's going to run that fastball up in the mid to upper 90s.
And he gets Stutzer to go half-heartedly, but he came around, according to home plate umpire Brandon Henson, for the first out. So that's 1 down as we make our way through the Florida State order. Same as it was yesterday, a 10-0 win. I would say, Coach, if it's not broken, don't fix it, right?
So a good start. I mean, 3 pretty good breaking pitches there. I'd love to see this 98 get out there a little bit more, too.
First one to Noah Sheffield, hits 100, according to the video board here at the Couch. Tipped foul, and it's 0-1. Touched on the ground, 2 strikes quickly to Sheffield. Weekly bounced over to second, and Blake Schaff executes the throw.
There's a good example of how that fastball is going to play. He was trying to elevate that up out of the zone, got it down, chest high, hand high really. So a hittable spot, but it just ran in and ate Sheffield up on the hands.
So 2 outs for Miles Bailey, who homered yesterday, his 7th of the season. Swings it foul, 0-1.
I think it'll be important early for Levonas to pitch in on when he can with fastballs to get them off the outside part of the plate.
Swing and a miss on that one that looped in there.
It'll be interesting to see with this kind of fastball that Levonas has, how often he's willing to challenge Bailey.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Breaking ball in there for strike 3, taken by Bailey. Couple of punch outs, and the Seminoles go in order in the top of the first. Talented left-hander getting the start for Florida State. The FAU transfer had a remarkable year for the Owls last year.
You know, I think he falls into the crafty lefty category. You know, his fastball is going to be enough. He's going to be a 90 to 91 mile an hour guy. He's got some funk to his delivery. What's really going to be interesting to see is that his changeup's his best secondary, and I think he's going to throw it to both left-handers and right-handers.
Couple of changes to the Wake Forest lineup as Javar Williams still in the leadoff spot. Cade Lewis back at first base today after DHing yesterday. Andrew Costello had one of their 2 hits in the lineup and playing in left field, as well as Jimmy Keenan, Blake Schaff, who did not participate yesterday. Called strike to Javar Williams, 0-1.
Beard kind of a straight over the top left-hander. He can play up in the top of the zone with that fastball on occasion. Again, it's not going to be overpowering, but if he throws it right, it will set up the secondary stuff.
Fouled straight back, 0-2. Williams 1 for 3 yesterday. He led off with an infield single. That was their only hit for a long time until the 7th inning.
Good miss for that 0-2. Good 3-4 inches off the outside edge. That gives him the ability to come back in if he wants to try to jam him.
Strike 3, and Williams takes for the first out.
Next up for the Deacons, first baseman, number 6, Cade Lewis.
Beard will show a curveball and a slider, but again, his primary secondary offering is going to be his changeup. The slider's a newer addition to his breaking ball package. Neither breaking ball or wipeout type strikeout pitches.
Cade Lewis holds off, and the check over to third says he came around. So Craig Barron, the umpire over there, he was behind the plate yesterday.
Yeah, pretty good late bite on that curveball right there for strike 1. Boy, and there is that left-on-left changeup. Again, there are not many lefties who are willing to do that. I see if you see a righty throw a changeup to a right-handed hitter more often than a left-on-left.
Out in front, swing and a miss. Consecutive punch-outs for Trey Beard.
And that's back-to-back left-on-left changeups. Great arm speed. Looks just like his fastball coming out of his hand. In fact, he might show more arm speed on his changeup than he does his fastball. 2 great pitches there.
Third strikeout this season by Lewis against a left-handed pitcher, and it brings up the switch hitter, Dalton Wentz.
Big left-handed curveball, pretty good bite to it. It's got a lot of belly. It's going to be have to be very precise to get it in the zone.
Wentz tomahawks it. And sends it foul.
When you have the kind of changeup that Beard has, you can throw it, you miss with a curveball, and you throw it next pitch, and looking like a fastball, you're going to get some swings like that.
Right back to Beard. Throw to first, and the side retired. So not totally dissimilar to Levonas' first. 6 up, 6 down combined. We're on to the second. To take the series for Link Jarrett and his Florida State Seminoles today. A clean first inning for both teams, and we're tied at 0 as we enter the second.
He's done a great job everywhere he's been, and boy, like we talked last night, Link's just a fun guy to talk baseball with. Very involved in all aspects of the game, throws batting practice, coaching all the time. Just a great baseball guy.
1-0 to Brody DeLamalier, the right fielder and 4th batter in the lineup.
Boy, good life on that fastball on the outside edge, and a nice job by Keenan of selling that a little bit, coming back off the corner.
No swing from DeLamalier. It's a close miss, 2-1. Can't connect, 2-2.
Tight slider. Got a lot of horizontal action to that one. Well off the plate.
Levonas elicits a swing and a miss. Keenan pops out. Strong throw is there in time to finish the strikeout. So far so good for Levonas as Florida State. Big winners yesterday, 10-0 coach. It was their first ever shutout in the ACC opener on the road.
And again, I don't think anyone was expecting one of the teams to come away not scoring a run, given the 17-mile-an-hour wind straight out to center field last night.
It's part of what made Mendez's pitching performance so impressive.
And you know, if scouts are at that ball game watching, that absolutely makes an impression, because they're having the same thought everyone else. Boy, this is going to be a big-time night offensively, and all of a sudden our talented lefty goes out there and throws a shutout for 7.
Fastball is across, and it's 2-1. Ball, strike 2 for Braden Dowd, who had a couple of extra base hits, including one of the 5 home runs for Florida State in Game 1.
Levonas pounding the zone early with all of his pitches.
Just off at 99 miles per hour with the fastball, and the count goes full.
That's a tough pitch to lay off. Really good take there by Dowd.
There's strike 3. Well, that's already 4 through 5 batters for Levonas.
That was outside edge, back door. Keenan stuck it right there. Nice job freezing that. Letting the umpire get a good look.
Brings up Nathan Schmela, the catcher. Steps into it. It's a miss inside, 1-0. Schmela 2 for 4 yesterday with his first home run of the season. Drives it out to center field. Javar Williams with a quick beat on it. Reels it in for the third out. So another clean frame for Chris Levonas. 6 up, 6 down. We're on to the home half. Here's Wake Forest head coach Tom Walter. Quick word for his leadoff man Javar Williams before retaking his post, where he'll watch his Demon Deacons at the plate again. And Coach, you talked about the need to flush yesterday as quickly as you possibly can. He's got the mentality to where this Wake Forest team is not worried about it.
Yeah, he's been around a long time, and my guess is there was zero conversation about last night's game. It was probably a post-game. Here's what time batting practice is. Here's the uniform we're wearing. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Called strike one to Luke Costello. And that's quickly strike two.
I would say early on here we're getting a little bit of width on the outside corners on both sides of the plate here. We don't have the perfect angle, but we've got a pretty good one. Beard a little extra on that fastball up in the zone to give Costello a look at a high riding fastball.
There's strike three.
I'll bet you everybody in the ballpark was expecting that changeup to come right there. And that fastball, again, it's not going to light up the radar gun, but so much. But that one's going to play pretty good. That one acted like it was 98.
Well, it is a K-fest so far. That's now 7 of the 10 batters we've seen combined. Heading back to the dugout with strikeouts. Matt Conti in an 0-1.
16 pitches thus far, and 12 of them have been strikes.
Fouled back. Strike two to Matt Conti, who's the designated hitter today. Caught yesterday. Went 0 of 3 at the plate with a couple of strikeouts.
Good strikeout curveball right there, exactly where you want to throw that pitch. Shmela, nice job blocking it. It's exactly where you want to miss with that 1-2 breaking ball.
2-2, sent the other way, but foul.
Boy, it's fun to watch guys pitch when they throw the ball over the plate, right? Can do so much stuff when you're working ahead.
Over the top, the breaking ball drops in for strike three.
You know, it's big. It's not going to be a high number on a radar gun, but that's just got really late action to it. That ball looks and feels heavier, if that makes sense, as it gets to the plate.
Andrew Costello looks at another first pitch strike thrown by Beard.
I don't want to throw him into this category yet, but it's a Kershaw, Sandy Koufax type, straight over the top. A lot of bite, late curveball.
It's the inside edge there, and it's an 0-2 to Costello.
A really good changeup.
Swing and a miss. Shmela, a throw over to first, and it's another punch out for Trey Beard. He strikes out the side in the second. We're scoreless through 2. through 2 innings. Number 20, Florida State, back to the plate to begin the 3rd against number 12, Wake Forest. Chris Levonas back out onto the mound. He has fanned 4 of the 6 batters he's faced and retired.
Pretty well pitched first 2 innings of the ball game, I would say, huh?
Yeah, 4 strikeouts through 6 batters for Levonas. Trey Beard, meanwhile, has punched out 5 of the 6 he's faced and retired for Florida State. First pitch swung on. Eli Putnam skies it to deep left field. Costello there at the track to make the catch for the first out. Eli Putnam, 2 home run day yesterday, comes up just shy there.
Pretty good pass at that one. Hit a fastball and a breaking ball out of the park last night, which we talked about. He's got some easy power. Looked like Costello was struggling with that one a little bit off the bat initially, as he sort of was drifting as he made that catch.
Brings up Will Bavaro, the 3rd baseman for Florida State. Watches it outside, 1-0 the count. Bavaro 1 for 3 yesterday with a double. A couple of fly balls to center field, also walked. Skies that one up into the air, left center field. Jabbar Williams over from center, and that is caught for an out.
Bavaro did not miss that one by much. Looked like he got a little bit towards the end. And even though the wind's not like it was last night, the ball's still going to carry out here as it does with flags laying straight down. But we just have that natural push out towards right center. Balls in the air are going to get deeper than what they appear to be off the bat.
3 pitches, 2 down. Levonas starts off Cal Fisher with fastball that's off the mark, 1-0. Breaking ball in there to even it up, 1-1.
That was a really good late breaking. Looked to be of the curveball variety, a little more downward action to it.
Out of play, foul ball, and 2 strikes on Fisher. Shortstop and 9-hole batter, 2 for 3 yesterday. He reached base 3 of 4 times up. Pops it up. This is shallow left field. Stein out from shortstop. Glides underneath and gloves it casually. What a play by the freshman. 3 up, 3 down. Goes the bottom of the FSU order. Georgia Tech getting the series after a Game 2 victory at Clemson yesterday. They are off to their best start since 2006 as the highest ranked ACC team. Notre Dame, a couple of grand slams in the same inning. Noah Coy and Davis Johnson. North Carolina back on track at Cal, getting the victory. Jason DeCaro steady as usual. And then Pitt falls short, a walk-off win for Stanford despite Lorenzo Carrier remaining white hot at the plate. Another couple of home runs for him. Bottom of the order for Wake Forest here, beginning with Jimmy Keenan.
Pretty even split of fastball and off-speed offerings from Mr. Beard thus far.
Now 2 strikes on Keenan after he bounces it foul. Beard has struck out 5 of the 6 batters he's faced and retired so far through 2.
He's basically been 50% fastballs, 50% off speed with a mix of curveballs and changes.
Swing and a miss. Keenan can't connect on the off speed. That is now 4 straight strikeouts for Beard and 6 overall.
You know, we saw great changes from Mendez last night. which really helped him against the right-handed hitters and made his 95-mile-an-hour fastball play a little better. And thus far, we're seeing exactly the command of the changeup that we've heard Beard has.
0-1 to Blake Schaff. First plate appearance of the series. Rolls it over to Miles Bailey at first, who makes the play himself, and there are 2 away.
Well, one fastball got in on the hands a little bit. Great job of coming back in the 0-1 count, trying to go in. You know, by scout standards, Beard's fastball is going to grade out as major league average, you know, 92 miles an hour, which we'd all love to have. But again, not to beat a dead horse, but what's going to make it play a lot differently is that plus changeup he's got, and certainly the command he's shown thus far of his curveball.
First pitch swinging, J.D. Stein comes up empty, 0-1 for the freshman shortstop.
Yeah, the other thing that it's really intriguing to me is he's a straight over the top lefty, so there's not going to be a lot of pulling left and right. His misses are going to be, you know, towards the plate. His alignment is great. That'll give that fastball a chance to run to the arm side, the changeup a chance to run to his arm side to that first base side of the plate.
Miss inside with the fastball. Now it's 3-1. First 3-ball count Beard has experienced. Ball 4. Wake Forest has the first base runner of the day.
Well, with a 3-1 changeup there to the 9-hole hitter, which tells you I've got a whole lot of faith in my change. If I'm willing to go and a hitter's count with a 9-hole hitter, I'm going to throw that change. And he went all fastballs to Javar Williams the first at bat. That appeared to be that left-on-left change for strike 1 at 85.
Williams struck out looking on 4 pitches his first time up. Five-game hit streak for Javar Williams. Hardly a knock per game in that stretch, 12 of them. Get the bunt down, and that's strike 2.
So when, if you're going to bunt for a base hit, a hitter's mentality is perfect or foul. So I don't love an 0-1 bunt for a base hit. And that count, if you're foul, wasn't quite perfect. Now I'm 0-2. I'd rather see it where you're going to do no more than even the count.
Swing and a miss, and Williams goes down on strikes. That retires the side and strands the base runner. Still nothing there for Wake's offense. Pitchers dueling in Winston-Salem. We're through 3 innings, and it's been really quick and really successful for both Trey Beard of Florida State and Chris Levonas of Wake Forest. Levonas back on for the top of the 4th and the top of the order for Florida State again as John Stutzer looks at a first pitch strike. Stutzer 0 for 1 with, you guessed it, a strikeout his first time up. Stutzer, Sheffield, Bailey, the three due up for FSU.
Really good late action of that slider there.
With 2 strikes. Tried it again.
Everybody clap your hands.
Full count to Stutzer. Strike 3. Number 5 for Levonas.
Breaking ball again, threw a bunch of them. That at bat to Stutzer. That one's nice and small, didn't have a lot of downward action on it, but a great spot in a 3-2 count.
Noah Sheffield still hitless for the series. First pitch lined out to center. Williams rushed up and then stayed back on it for the catch.
Pretty good pass on that fastball, a little bit up in the zones. If you're Sheffield, you got to come away from that at bat feeling good about the approach. Picked a good pitch to hit. Williams positioned perfectly. Didn't have to do much to get to it.
Now Miles Bailey's turn. Struck out looking on 4 pitches his first time up. Steps out of the way. Now 2-0. Bailey, after that first inning home run yesterday, walked 4 times. Twice intentionally walked.
We talked last night about he's got that little bit of that knee lift, that leg kick to get started, but his weight stays back, his hands stay back, nothing comes towards the pitcher, gives him plenty of time to see the baseball.
3 balls, 1 strike. This is a hitter's count for Bailey.
Yeah, we've seen more secondary stuff than fastballs from Levonas thus far.
See what he goes with here. Breaking ball in there for strike 2.
And while you like seeing a lot of fastballs of a guy who throws 98, if you're a hitter and you're seeing breaking balls in 3-1 counts, that's very confusing.
Here's the full count. Another breaker, and it misses outside. Bailey walks. And he is the first base runner of the day for Florida State. Brody DeLamielleure 0 for 1 with a strikeout.
Boy, really good cut. First pitch slider, middle part of the zone. Good strike 1 pitch, and DeLamielleure a really good hack at that. Curveball there. Good effortless job by Keenan to block that ball. That was a big leg style block right there. Looked effortless. little pitch count. We're going fingers here.
Yeah, Levonas seemingly having some issues. Now the 2-1. Swing and a miss from Delamalier.
He certainly showed command of all of his stuff thus far. He's got some, best pitch that day on a 2-2 count. He's got 3 options.
Went slider, and it escapes the zone, so a full count again. Runner goes, swing and a miss. It's strike 3. Big pitch by Levonas for strikeout number 6. When we return, the resumption of play, we'll talk to Wes Mendez after his standout performance last night. In this ranked matchup, game 2 of the weekend is set. Quite the pitcher's duel on our hands this afternoon. Apt as we bring in Florida State ace Wes Mendez, who tossed quite the gem last night. Wes, appreciate the time. First things first, how did it feel last night as you got that 7-inning run rule complete game shutout?
Yeah, it felt great. It felt great to set the tone for the weekend. The hitters had my back early from the jump. Miles that 2-run bomb, and then Dowd that next inning with another 2-run bomb. Got out to a great start, and yeah, finished it out.
Well, I like what having Coach Dick Cook up here, because he's my pitching guru. He was salivating at what you were able to execute last night. So tell us, what in particular was working best for you?
Yeah, I felt like I had all 5 pitches in the zone, and I felt like my changeup played pretty good last night. Got a good amount of swing and miss on that, and then my cutter also played pretty good. I would say those 2 probably specifically played the best, but I felt like I had every pitch, and I could really throw any pitch in any count last night.
I thought you threw some big league changeups last night. It truly made that fastball play even better against those right-handers. How confident are you in that change relative to where it stacks up in your arsenal?
Yeah, about as confident as any pitch I could throw. I felt like I could throw it in any count to any hitter, righty, lefty. I didn't necessarily throw any to any lefties last night, but I felt like I feel great with it. Honestly, I feel great.
And which is what breaking ball do you go to most frequently?
Probably my slider. So my slider, normally I really only throw 2 strikes for the most part. Land a curveball in there, get some takes. Normally it isn't a big swing and miss pitch.
Bouncer right back to Beard, and it retires Cade Lewis.
Yeah, normally it isn't a big swing and miss pitch. Normally it just gets a lot of takes. So if I just land it in there, it does its job. So normally slider if I'm going for a swing and miss.
Well, Wes, I'm going to ask you about Trey here, because he's been great so far. 3 1/3, just the 1 base runner, 7 strikeouts. What's impressed you most about his effort thus far?
Yeah, everything. He's calm, cool, collected up there as always. His changeup is probably even better than mine, I would say. His changeup is his baby. He can throw that thing whenever, wherever, at any time. And it's playing today for sure.
Do you throw your change very often at left-handed hitters? I know Beard does quite a bit.
Yeah, honestly, I haven't really in the past. I feel comfortable with it. I can do it. Trey definitely does it a lot more than me, I would say. I normally just stick to fastball, slider, cutter for the most part, curveball to lefties. But, if need be, every once in a while I can rip a changeup in there to a lefty for sure.
Wes, last night in that 7th inning, you guys are up 10. Runners get on first and second. Coach and I were talking about how that suddenly became kind of a big moment for your team, as strike 3 on the swing and miss by Dalton Wentz gets us to 2 outs. Were you kind of feeling that similarly, right? It's like, hey, no outs, they're at first and second, but I know my team would like for me to get through this frame without allowing a run to score, so we can keep the bullpen fresh for the rest of the series.
Yeah, 100%. It's a big deal for sure, not having to waste any bullpen arms on the first day of the series. I definitely felt that it was a big situation, and I'm glad I kept it in check and we ended up finishing it off in the right way.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Well, we appreciate the time. It was an outstanding performance, a lot of fun to watch and call, and good luck the rest of the way, all right?
Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys for having me on.
Wes Mendez, you know, Coach, we were told he was a talker. I feel like we could have kept him on for a few innings.
I'm gonna invite him out to get dinner afterwards so we can chat more baseball, more pitching.
Luke Costello rolls it over foul, and his count comes even at 1-1.
Yeah, it was impressive. Like we said, everything about that. Well, the game conditions last night were a lot of runs for both clubs, and to not only keep a team from putting many on the board, but putting 0 on the board against a club like Wake Forest offensively was pretty notable.
Trey Beard trying to do his best Wes Mendez impersonation so far in this one. Fanning of Dalton Wentz was his 8th strikeout of the game. He's got 2 strikes on Costello. Leaves it down. Out in front for another swing and miss. Strikeout number 9 for Beard. Tosses a 0 up on the board for the 4th. In this scoreless affair, Florida State and Wake Forest in the midst of a pitcher's duel. Chris Levonas still going for the Demon Deacons, whose head coach, Tom Walter, joins us now. Tom, you got to love what Chris is giving you. What's working best for him from your vantage point?
Well, he's throwing all 4 pitches for strikes. He's competing. He's moving the ball around. And he's got really good stuff. And, you know, again, when you're a hitter and you're up there trying to cover 4 pitches, that's not easy.
He's 50 pitches through 4 innings. That's pretty efficient. Are you pleased with that number and what you're hoping to get out of him deep in the game?
Really pleased with that number. I mean, obviously we're hoping to get 7. I think anything more than that would be a stretch. But, you know, this is a good offensive team, and we need some more economical innings. I like seeing those first pitch outs. Maybe we'll get one right here.
Yeah, last thing for you, Tom. It's been a struggle offensively for your club. What's the key to getting some runs on the board and getting ahead in this one?
Well, we got to make adjustments. We got to get on the backside of the field a little more and sit on pitches. You know, right now we're kind of in between, and we were yesterday too. And when you got 2 pitchers with a plus-minus differential between their fastball and changeup like that, you can't sit in between. You can't cover both those pitches. You got to pick one or the other.
All right, Coach, we'll let you get back to it.
Thanks, guys.
Braden Dowd leading off for Florida State here, already with a couple of strikes against him.
That's only the 2nd time that Levonas has gotten 2 fastballs the first 2 pitches of an at-bat.
That's interesting, right? I mean, he throws fastball not even 40% of the time for the season. But again, he's got great stuff, as Coach Walter said.
Well, his secondary stuff is obviously very good, and it's certainly flummoxing the Wake hitters right now. As Tom said, the difference in the fastball and change for the Florida State pitchers, so Levonas can do the same.
Stroked out to the opposite field. Costello backing up and makes the catch up against the wall ultimately, but it's the first out.
I mean, if you get a steady diet at 97, 98 in the zone, then suddenly that slider, curveball, boy, that really gets those hitters off balance, and they don't know, you know, you start getting people out, up and back rather than in and out.
How does it make you feel as a coach when it feels like with Levonas it's either a strikeout because they can't touch it, or it's contacted and it's up into the air, sometimes pretty deep like that last one?
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes you a little nervous. They've hit especially in this yard, they hit a couple balls that have drifted pretty good that haven't been hit too squarely.
Up and inside on Nathan Schmela, now 3-0 count.
You know, I think if you sat Levonas down and said, what do you have faith in? I think he would say, I've got faith in all my stuff. Fastball, breaking ball, slider.
3-0, he gets a fastball across.
And that's probably one reason they call so much secondary stuff in the at-bats.
A swipe and a miss. Another heater, and the count goes full.
And there aren't too many guys who are going to catch that fastball at that part of the zone at 97. Anywhere.
3-0 to a full count. Levonas touched foul. It'll be another full count pitch to Shmela.
Pretty good pass on that one by Shmela. Just missed it, fouled it straight back. Good crowd here today too, huh?
Another 3-2. Into the air, right field, drifting back, and that is gone. First hit of the game for either side. It's another home run for Nathan Shmela, and FSU strikes first.
Yeah, that's that fastball up in the zone, but not up in the unhittable part of the zone. Probably center cut outside half. Shmela just hit it where it was pitched. That's probably belt high in the outside part of the plate. The velocity will help that ball run.
First pitch breaking ball as Eli Putnam settles in.
Putnam looked very, very comfortable at the plate last night. He too did a good job of using the whole field. Drove a ball out in left center, hit a ball out in right center.
Hard on the ground, but foul. It's 1-2. Couple of home runs for Putnam last night, his second and third of the season. Fights off another.
That's three pretty good breaking balls in a row that Putnam has done a nice job of. The last two with 2 strikes have fouled off.
Dribbled left side. Wentz, nothing to do with it from third. And it's an infield single for Putnam.
Well executed pitch there. Fastball got in on his hands. Wentz playing way back. Mechanically, nice job getting to the ball with a bare-handed no shot to make a throw there. You know, Putnam had seen 5 breaking balls and then got jammed with a fastball. That's just a fortunate infield base hit for him.
So, Coach, I hear scouts say a lot that one of the most important things that they'll see out of a guy like Levonas with so much stuff and so much potential to be a guy at the next level is you give up a home rn, how do you bounce back, right? You would consider that maybe a one plate appearance by the pitcher Levonas in terms of a bounce back, despite the result.
For sure, yeah. I mean, he didn't throw a bad pitch in that at bat. You got curveball for strike 1, a good miss for ball 1 with his curveball, then 3 really good breaking balls and a good fastball to get the little jam job. Just didn't go his way result-wise.
He's got another 0-2 to Bavaro. Gets a called strike 3. 2 down.
That was a really small cutter type slider action. You know, might have been one that it didn't get quite the horizontal break that he wanted. He got away with it, backed up a tick. but probably got 4 or 5 inches side to side, just enough to freeze Bavaro.
So Cal Fisher back to the plate for the second time today. Popped it up to deep shortstop, shallow left field, however you want to characterize it. His first time up.
Levonas went 11 pitches in the first, 13 in the second, 7 in the third. Last inning he went 19. This inning he's north of 20. So I think that's something that Wake Forest coaches have to be paying attention to relative to how labor intensive this might become.
Now 2-0 to Fisher.
It looked like that could have been a 1-0 changeup there at 91. A little bit of movement to his arm side.
He's hit top shelf 3-0. You mentioned the pitch count for Levonas. He's hit 84 twice this year, including last weekend in a winning effort against Stanford. He got through 5.
Coach Walter's hoping for 7. He's going to have to get a little more efficient.
And that's ball 4 to extend the frame and get it back to the top of the order for Florida State.
Back to the top of the order now, batting left fielder John Stutzer.
Good job by Fisher extending the inning and turning the lineup over.
So here comes Eric Neeson, pitching coach for the Demon Deacons. Yeah, really just moments ago we were talking with Tom Walter and you mentioned, hey, he's at 50.
Maybe I shouldn't have said anything.
25 pitches later, and it is the most laborious frame he's had.
And credit to the Florida State hitters. They've done a nice job of extending some of these at-bats, especially Putnam. Fisher there, that 4-pitch walk at in the 9 hole. Stutzer's got to be dialed in, looking for 1 pitch in 1 spot.
Slider on the first, gets strike 1.
It's a good one. Boy, it's not a big loopy pitch. It's got great late action to it.
It's a swing and a miss there.
There he goes, curveball, a little bigger breaking ball. Nods his head to the dugout, whatever he's hearing through pitch comm he likes.
0-2 with 2 on and 2 away. Bounced over to Stein at shortstop. Takes his time with the throw over, and it's in time to retire the side. First hit for either side this afternoon. A solo home run for Nathan Schmela, and a 1-0 lead for Florida State. Is currently the difference. His second home run of the season, second in as many days. For Wake Forest, a much different story. Just the 2 hits yesterday. Still haven't gotten their first knock today. Just 1 base runner against Trey Beard so far, who delivers a first pitch breaking ball to Matt Conti for a called strike.
16 balls, 37 strikes. You can pitch a lot doing that.
Conti sends it skyward. To the right, Lamalier underneath it for a while before making the catch. That's 1 down.
It's one of my favorites, the 0-1 fastball, especially after a first pitch off speed for strike 1. And get him just a tick late on that fastball and a little lazy fly ball. Well done. An impressive 54 pitches thus far for Beard.
You know, Coach, that was the first ball put into play in the air by Wake Forest so far today. Everything else had been a ground out to that point. Now ball, Andrew Costello with a quick 0-2. He struck out on 3 pitches his first time up.
Certainly don't intend to jinx Mr. Beard, but this has been a clinic thus far. And I think great pitch choices from whoever's calling the game.
Swing and a miss. Costello down on strikes again. And that is 10 strikeouts for Trey Beard.
You know, 10 Ks and he's not throwing 99, right? He's throwing it like we talked about off camera. His fastball's enough. Looked similar to my lines back in the day.
Yeah. It's a big swing and a miss from Jimmy Keenan, 0-1. Keenan 0 for 1 with, you guessed it, a strikeout his first time up. Beard, too, just now getting to around the 60 pitch mark.
I'd say he's got a better shot at 7 right now than Mr. Levonas does, right? Keenan struck out on all off-speed offerings the first at bat. Change up for a strike, then a breaking ball for a ball.
Can't connect there, evens it up 2-2.
Then it was change up, swing and a miss for strike 3 in the first at bat. And I'll tell you, a whole lot of hitters would be swinging and missing at this changeup. Sort of Bugs Bunny-ish at its action.
Full count. Beard tried the fastball that time. Check of the swing, and they ring him up. Jimmy Keenan committed enough to come around for the 11th punch out of the day for Trey Beard. For number 20, Florida State, looking to get game 2, which would give them the series in Winston-Salem. Chris Levonas, despite trailing, has been really good as well. Had to labor a little bit more in that last frame, but he's back out with 78 pitches under his belt.
He's been good. Beard's just been a tick better, you know. Got to feel good. 5 innings, 1 run.
Just the solo home run by Nathan Schmela. Noah Sheffield, the batter here. Oh for 3 yesterday. And 0 for 2 so far today, but he's got a 2-1.
That looks a little bit more cutter than slider. A couple of those first and third pitch of this at bat have been much smaller than his slider. There's his curveball.
It misses the zone, 3-1. Sheffield unable to contact it, and the count full.
You know, if you're going to be a heavy dose of off speed, you might have a tendency to run pitch counts up because they're sometimes not as, your command's not going to be quite as good as a fastball.
Swing and a miss. Quite the fight back for Levonas there, his 8th strikeout.
But another 6 pitch at bat, right? And that suddenly takes him to 84, and that, you know, subtly works in the favor of Florida State, even though Levonas has 1 out, nobody on after that strikeout.
So his first pitch to Miles Bailey here will put him at a season high 85 pitches thrown.
At 91 there, that looked like looked like his changeup. Doesn't throw it often. Looks like he's got an okay feel for it. And because his delivery is so sound, I think he's got a chance to have a great one if indeed he wants to add that a little more frequently.
Bailey leans out of the way, 2-1.
That looks like it again.
Breaking ball to even it up 2-2. Strike three looking.
That had been 8 off-speed pitches in a row between last at bat and this at bat until that 96-mile-an-hour fastball knee high on the outside edge. And Bailey just tipped his hat and walked away. He knew he had no shot.
So Levonas had to throw not quite 30 pitches in the 5th inning. Now 12 pitches into the 6th here, but 1 out away from getting back to the dugout.
You know, both his curveball and slider in this day and age of metrics are high spin rate pitches, which means he doesn't have to nibble with them too much. They typically aren't going to get hit a lot or hit hard. That certainly has been the case. He's got a clearly good feel for him and confidence in him.
Lamalier ducks out of the way. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Seminoles right fielder 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. Can't connect. It's another batter fanned, the 10th of the day for Levonas. And the dueling continues. 1-0 Florida State as we head to the home half. Salem. And a pitcher's duel of the highest order. Trey Beard, 63 pitches through 5 innings. Just the 1 walk, 11 strikeouts, as you'll see 8-9-1 in the Wake Forest order. Just the 4th outing of the season for Beard. And a foul ball, Blake Schaff, 0-1, the batter for the Demon Deacons.
We've walked 1, you struck out 11 through 5 innings, and you're only up 1-0.
Bunt pulled back, taken by Schaff, 1-1.
There's an 0-1 bunt for a hit we talked about, right? And Bavara was playing pretty normal depth.
Now Beard gets a swing and a miss, 1-2.
You know, and that's that left-on-left change. I just think that makes him a different guy in a good way. There's just so few pitchers, even those with good changeups, who are left-handed, who aren't willing to do that.
Out straight back, 1-2.
You know, I was a left-handed pitcher. My best off speed was my changeup, and I never threw it to lefties. If I were to go back a whole lot of years and pitch again, I would absolutely move it up in my repertoire.
Launched out to center field. Dow drifts back and makes the catch. So that's 1 away. And Beard is approaching his season high in pitches thrown. He tossed 72 against Northern Kentucky last weekend. But again, it's just his 4th outing of the year. The week of opening day, he came down with an illness that sidelined him and kind of got his throwing program behind. He lost about 15 pounds is what Link Jarrett told us.
And I'll be curious to see how they're going to manage it pitch count wise. As you know, we didn't have that conversation. You know, as to if they have a number in mind. I mean, is it 90? Is it 80? He's had a pretty easy 5 1/3 thus far. Is it go as far as you can and we'll figure it out once you get gassed?
One and one to J.D. Stein, the 9-hole batter. Only time up so far, he walked. That's the only base runner of the day for Wake Forest. And that one is ripped down the line and into the corner and left. Stein on his horse, headed to second. He dives in and is safe with the double.
That was probably the first changeup of the game that Beard has left up in the hittable part of the zone. Let her high, stay to the inside half. I think that's an important at bat for Stein.
Man in scoring position for the first time today. And Javar Williams swings it foul.
First pitch curveball, first strike there. As big as Beard's curveball is, he's been today at least a very high percentage of throwing that in the zone.
Another one bounced foul by Williams. You know, Coach, you mentioned that's the first changeup that Beard has left up and susceptible today. That's the first hit given up on his changeup all season.
There you go. Right.
Something of a tight window, something you couldn't have reasonably expected to see if you're J.D. Stein, but when it presented itself, you capitalized.
And it gets magnified a little more when the game is 1-0 and not 5-0.
Yeah, no doubt. First hit of the game for Wake Forest. Top of the order. Trying to cash in. A little bit of a pull side shift for Williams, the batter.
He's choked up pretty good on that handle.
Close take, and it's 1-2.
There's a left on left change and an 0-2 count. And a good miss. Shmela was set up just off the outside edge.
That one's well outside, easier take to make it 2-2.
Beard's got 3 options here, given the way he's executed thus far today.
Chokes it, it bounces away from Shmela. He still hasn't found it. Stein holds up at third, though.
We've got some pretty good activity going on down the Florida State bullpen.
Full count here. Infield in. Strike 3 looking. Williams did not offer at it. And he's the 12th strikeout victim for Beard.
Well, that's a cutter, slider type action. A small breaking ball. I think that's his slider, which again is a new addition to his repertoire apparently.
Trey Beard is tied a career high in strikeouts as the infield converges. Their trusty right-hander, John Abraham, warming in the Florida State bullpen. And again, with Mendez going the complete game yesterday, the cupboard is full. The entire array of pitchers out of the bullpen at their disposal.
And that's probably a visit. How you feeling? Combined with, let's buy a little more time down there.
Runner at third with 2 down. Cade Lewis to the plate for Wake Forest. Hitless for the series. First bounce right back to Beard. He makes the play, and it retires the side and strands the runner at third. Still a 1-0 lead for the Seminoles. Dips into its bullpen to begin the 7th inning. Reese Bowie, the left-hander. And he'll see 5, 6, 7 in the Florida State order. Still a 1-0 game in favor of the Noles.
Bowie's going to attack you, a plus fastball, a lot of secondary offerings. He's going to come right at you with an aggressive delivery. Low arm slot left-hander, strikes a bunch of guys out. Can struggle a little bit at times throwing the ball over the plate.
Braden Dowd leads things off. And the first pitch strike for Bowie, 96 miles per hour.
Ball probably an 1/8 of an inch below the knees. Great spot, low middle part of the plate. Probably has a little sinking action down in that part of the zone.
Rocketed foul. And that's 2 strikes on Dowd, who's 0 for 2, a strikeout and a fly ball to left so far today. Leaves it out. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Sweeping type breaking ball from that low arm slide at a pretty good pace at 85 miles an hour.
Two and 2 on the left-handed hitter Dowd, who's got some pretty impressive reverse splits this season, Coach. He hits an even 516 plate appearances against lefties this year.
And I know there's a whole lot of left-handed pitchers in the world, myself included, who preferred to pitch against right-handers. So interesting to see how the rest of this matchup goes, as we have, shocker, a little pitch count issue.
Well, we saw Levonas, the starting pitcher for Wake Forest, working through several issues throughout his performance. That was an interesting gesture. Bowie pointing the communication device toward home plate umpire Brandon Henson.
Maybe he wants to make sure he's hearing the appropriate things. Doesn't want you to hear anything illegal there.
Now 2 and 2. Close eye by Dowd, full count.
So that low arm slot, that ball's going to obviously have a lot of horizontal break. I would imagine at times Keenan's going to need to sit on the first base side of the plate to help Bowie change his visual adjustment as far as where he starts at.
Dowd fights it off, a really good 2-strike hitter. Ball 4. Leadoff man is aboard. Nathan Schmela due up now. A solo home run earlier in the game. This was in the 5th inning. And that is the difference in a 1-0 affair.
And just a great at bat by Dowd to start that inning. 0-2 count.
And then he gets picked off.
Boy, some great quickness there by Bowie. That's a tough move to execute for a left-handed pitcher. Looks like we might have a review coming up.
It seems that's going to be the case, but as it is called on the field, Reese Bowie nullifies the leadoff walk. So it will go to official review.
Looked like he tagged him on the backside, lower back. Definitely took a false step towards second. And sometimes that little false step can create the call in the umpire's mind.
So you are seeing, by the way, on the left there, exactly what Travis Godek and Craig Barron, the two officials looking at it, are seeing. And again, as always, an important reminder, if what they see cannot be offered as indisputable evidence to overturn it, you cannot change the call. Therefore, the call on the field, what that is, really matters.
And I don't think, based on what we're seeing, we can think maybe he got back, but we don't know that. Can't see that for sure, I don't believe.
Yeah, certainly it looked like maybe there's a chance Dowd snuck the arm around as he was getting tagged, but not sure that there's anything conclusive there.
Yeah, very athletic move by Bowie to, again, execute that throw.
And the call stands. 1 down. Breaking ball drops into the strike zone. Schmela with an 0-1. And Bowie picks it up foul. That's strike 2.
So Bowie is a low arm slot left-handed hitter. When he's got a right-handed hit or left-handed pitcher, when he's got the right-handed hitter in there, it's a lot easier to start that breaking ball off on the first base side of the plate and let it spin, break in. With a left-handed hitter in the box, you subconsciously sometimes you see that hitter and you just tend to start pulling that you start that breaking ball too much over the middle part of the plate and it sweeps away and off the edge like it did with Dowd.
The 0-2. Way outside, but that's where the setup was. Maybe not quite that far for Keenan.
Yeah, that looked like an 0-2 changeup, well off the plate.
Now 2-2.
Bowie's got that plus fastball, as does Levonas, but both like the secondary stuff and both throw a lot of secondary pitches.
2-2, fouled away. That was the fastball, 96. Another full count.
Going fingers again. Looks like we're going to get a fastball here.
Swing and a miss. Big pitch by Reese Bowie, and that's 2 away.
That pitch isn't going to get hit too often. 96, just a bit above the knees.
First one to Eli Putnam, fouled back and onto the concourse, 0-1.
Fastball again at 97, up a little bit, but Putnam just a tick late.
Got away from Bowie, 2-1.
Got a high energy delivery. He's got a lot of parts coming at you hard. He's got to make sure he gathers well over the rubber, that everything gets synced up. Then once it's time to go, you go. And again, he comes down that slope hard.
Now 3-1. Always really had to work for those first 2 outs. This one's going to be a struggle as well to fight back from 3-1. That's ball 4 that bounces Putnam to first base. And Will Bavaro to the plate.
If you're Bowie, time to step off, regroup a little bit. Maybe slow your tempo down just a tick. Make sure you're giving yourself time to balance, gather over the rubber. Separate there, let everything work in sync.
And here comes Eric Neeson to do some of that with him. Bowie coming off of a tough outing. He only got 1 out against Coastal Carolina in the midweek. Gave up 3 runs, all earned. Also gave up 3 runs last weekend in 2 innings pitched against Stanford. But in those 2 outings combined, Coach, just 1 walk. So it's trouble of a different kind. He's managed walks before this season pretty well.
And he's got stuff.
Evan Jones working to get ready there, the freshman for Wake Forest.
I don't think he's going to get hit a lot, but he's just got to stay away from the free passes because it only takes 1 ball in the air to make it a different kind of a result.
1-0 to Bavaro, who's 0 for 2. Fly ball to center field in the 3rd. And then he struck out looking in the 5th on 3 pitches. That, of course, was against Levonas.
Take the pickoff out of this inning, and this is he's probably not still out there.
Left side of the infield, and it squeaks through for a hit. Will Bavaro with a knock to keep the top of the 7th going for Florida State.
Boy, didn't square it up, but just got it in that 5 hole. And
now here comes Tom Walter. He has made the call. So it'll be a new pitcher, Evan Jones, on to throw for Wake Forest with 2 on and 2 outs when we return here in the top of the 7th. Evan Jones, and this is a guy who can really run it up there from Audubon, Pennsylvania.
Another in a long line of exciting arms for Wake Forest. Power fastball, great stuff, great secondary, breaking pitches. It's a lot of swing and miss, and he's a strike thrower.
Inherits a couple of base runners with 2 away in the top of the 7th inning. After Reese Bowie with a couple of walks and a single that squeaked through the left side of the infield for Will Bavaro prior to the break. Ninth batter in the order, and Coach, we've seen this so many times already in just a couple of days played this series. 2 away and a chance for a 9-hole batter to turn the order over and create just a little more of a headache for the defense.
Sure, he needs to be geared up for, I'm going to see that one pitch I want here. First pitch, if he doesn't get it.
Swings but can't connect, and it's 0-1.
A sweeping breaking ball for strike 1 at 84 miles an hour. And again, he'll run it up a mid to upper 90s fastball to offset that as well.
Swing and a miss. And it's 0-2. Throws the slider just about as often as he does the fastball, which averages 97 miles per hour.
We see that a lot at the college level right now. I'm seeing, I think, a couple breaking balls for strike 1 and strike 2, and then try to throw a third one a little better. I think that's a great time to run that 97 mile an hour off the dish and then come back with that breaking ball.
Wave and a miss. Strands the runners and gets Wake Forest out of a jam. Evan Jones on to stretch it out before we make our way to the bottom of the 7th. For Florida State on the road, looking to secure the series after a Game 1 victory yesterday in which Wes Mendez was really good. Trey Beard back out there to toss in the 7th. And this side by side, I mean, look at this. As impressive as Wes Mendez was yesterday, Coach, I think Beard has maybe even been better today.
You know, and I think the difference maker for both of them has been that changeup.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, Mendez threw it a lot to the righties last night. It was great. Beard has been beyond great today. So he throws a 1-0 change right there for strike 1. You know, I think the fact he got Lewis out on one pitch, that last at bat, got him back out here this half. I think if that had been a 3-4 pitch at bat, he might not have started this inning.
Now 3-1 to Dalton Wentz as he's got 3, 4, 5 due up for Wake Forest. I think you're right. We had speculated prior to that final out just how much more he had. It's a big swing and a miss to force the count full.
If I'm in the Florida State dugout managing this club, knowing he's pitched great, but he's extended more than normal, I'm saying if a guy gets on this inning, I'm getting him.
Wave and a miss. Beard battles back and gets his 13th strikeout, a new career high.
So he threw 6 pitches to Wentz, 3 balls, 3 strikes. The fastballs were all balls. The changeup were all strikes. He's got 1 out, nobody on. That's kind of like a professional pitching approach right there.
One 1-0 after the miss to Luke Costello, who Beard has gotten the better of twice today, fanning him both times.
He's still in that slider a few more times of late the past couple innings.
Called strike. Costello didn't love it, it appears.
Ball was at as bottom in the bottom part of the strike zone as you could be, I think.
This is high, now 2-1.
Costello struck out on 4 straight changes his last at bat.
Another off speed in there for strike 2.
You know, it's obviously a great pitch because he's throwing it over the plate, but it just, his arm speed is so exceptional on it.
See if he goes to it again here. And nicked foul. Costello hangs in there.
Well, you wonder if they're going to gamble and try to run a fastball in here.
Called strike 3, number 14 for Beard.
And we're not going to go fastball. We're going to go with that slider, that new addition to the arsenal. Good, small, tight breaking ball. Not a lot of belly to it. Similar type of action as his curveball, just not as big. And again, by his coming from that over-the-top arm slide, gets great downward plane.
That was his 90th pitch. He will receive a visit. And this is what we were talking about. This is an interesting decision for Florida State because the caveat is Beard has slowly been working his pitch count back up after being ill the first week of the season. So it does look like they're going to pull him after a season-high 90 pitches and a career-high 14 strikeouts. Trey Beard of Florida State, 6 2/3, just the 1 hit, the 1 walk, 14 strikeouts, a career-high. Coach in his first 3 outings of the season, 12 1/3 innings, 14 strikeouts. He doubled his total for the year.
Kind of just impressive to watch. I mean, his command, the pitch calling, execution. In fact, he started spinning a really tight slider late in his outing, running a fastball up there at 91, 92. Just 2 days in a row of fun watching Florida State pitchers go at it.
This is the first reliever used in the series for Florida State, and it is maybe their best. John Abraham with 2 away and nobody on in the 7th.
He's going to fill it up. He's going to strike people out. He's not going to walk people. Exactly the kind of profile you need coming in right here, given what Beard has done to this point.
Matt Conti, the designated hitter, 0 for 2 for Wake Forest.
First pitch breaking ball to start it good. Downward action, a true curveball right there.
Foul tip, 0-2.
A little bit tighter breaking ball at 85, slider-ish type action. And perhaps the first one was the same one, it just had certainly more downward bite to it.
Strike 3. That's the sign we move to the 8th inning. Still 1-0, Florida State's advantage. There, 1-0. Florida State leads and has their top of the order coming up to begin the 8th inning. It's been a really well pitched game by both sides. Evan Jones continues on the mound for Wake Forest in what is his 9th appearance of the season.
You know, we've had 2 relievers come in this game, Jones and, I'm sorry, 3 relievers with Jones and Abraham the last 2, and a whole lot of great, 3 guys with really good fastballs, and we've seen a whole lot of really high-level secondary stuff from them.
First pitch swing, fouled back for John Stutzer.
And there's that elite 97-mile-an-hour fastball by Jones. Comes out of a low three-quarter arm slot, going to get some movement to his arm side, some sink. Then he can throw that tight, late breaking slider to the opposite side of the plate. It's impressive.
Right there on the 0-2. Stutzer wise to it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Couple of strikeouts and a ground ball to shortstop so far for Stutzer. Swing and a miss. Jones has faced 2 batters. He's gotten both of them on strikes.
A lot of arm side movement there after seeing 3 breaking balls going off the first base edge. This is a great contrast, and when it's at 97, it's really hard to catch up to.
Now Noah Sheffield. And a called strike. He's 0 for 3 today. Struck out his last time up. A grounder to second and a line out to center otherwise. Here's a fly ball. Shallow center. Stein out from short, makes the call and pulls it in.
He makes that look routine, but that's a tough play for a shortstop. He's so good at it, it's just become he made a great catch on one earlier in the game in left field.
Yeah, kind of that one-handed basket catch.
He's very comfortable going back on it. And that helps the outfielders. They know that. That helps them dictate what kind of balls they may call them off on or not call them off.
Bailey did go is the indication from Craig Barron. So Miles Bailey with an 0-1. Pair of strikeouts and a walk today in 3 plate appearances.
Bailey fouled off the first pitch he saw today. That's the only ball that he's put a bat on thus far through 3 at-bats. And we saw last night what he can do.
Can't connect there. 2 strikes. Close take. Bailey advances the count to 4.
That's just such a good take by him. I mean, he showed no sense of committing to that. That was just below the knees. Really great pitch by Jones.
Strike 3. He looks that time, though. Jones with a quick dismissal of Miles Bailey. And we make our way to the bottom of the 8th. Here in Winston-Salem, Wake Forest to the plate with not a whole lot of opportunities left, though they only trail by 1. Still John Abraham on the mound for Florida State. He faced 1 batter to finish off the 7th, striking out Matt Conti on 3 pitches.
And Abraham, another one of those pitchers with enough fastball. He's going to be a 93-mile-an-hour guy, average major league fastball, but he's got great command and faith in his breaking ball. He threw 3 of them to strike out Conti. They're high spin rate breaking balls, which means he's not going to have to nibble too much. They're not going to get hit a lot, but he's got great faith in landing them for strikes. And most importantly, he's a strike thrower.
He'll first face Andrew Costello, the younger brother of the 2 on this Wake Forest squad. First time they've seen each other. Costello takes a first pitch strike. He was fanned on 3 pitches both times he faced Trey Beard, the Florida State starter. Sends it into the air. It stays on the infield. And it's pulled in by Fisher at shortstop.
Tell you what, it looked like Costello saw that and timed that up pretty well. I bet you he would say, yeah, that breaking ball was elevated just a tick. And I'll bet you Costello would say, I just missed that one. It looks like a little nothing pop up the shortstop, but I'll bet you that wasn't far from being something he could have driven.
One away for Jimmy Keenan. Called strike. Remember, Wake Forest shut out last night in that 10-0 7-inning game, still searching for their first run of the series.
You know, if you have a high spin breaking ball, which he does, maybe that's why Costello popped that up and didn't drive it out. It's one of those unexplained things. Hey, high spin breaking ball guys can just throw it in the zone. It's just not going to get hit. One of those, they haven't figured out necessarily the whys, but it's more the facts with the new metrics we've got.
Keenan 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Trying to avoid that again. But he looks at strike 3.
Left it a little bit to his arm side, that breaking ball, but it was a good one.
Demon Deacons down to 4 outs at their disposal.
Schaff needs to be really patient here in this 2-0 count. It's got to be perfect for him to go after it.
He takes, and it is a strike for Abraham.
Good take right there. Got to know where you are, what your role is in the order, game situation, count.
Now 3-1. So you put Abraham in a tougher spot here with that 3rd ball, and you allowed a strike to cross that, I don't know, didn't seem to me like you were going to be able to do too much with, right? It was a good pitch on the outside. Bounced, but foul.
First lefty he's seen, and he's thrown all fastballs thus far. And he clearly has enough faith with his off-speed stuff, his breaking stuff, to throw it in any count. And I imagine to either side hitter.
Close take. Schaff walks and gets it to J.D. Stein at the bottom of the order.
Boy, that was a really good take on a pitch that was close. 86 miles an hour, had a little bit of movement towards his arm side. Whether he's trying to sink a fastball there, or maybe that was a change of some variety.
Aggressive first pitch cut by J.D. Stein, who, relatively speaking, has had himself a day. A walk and a line drive double into the corner and left through 2 plate appearances.
He's been the offensive highlight thus far. That breaking ball just has to look so hittable to them.
Stein leaves it, and it's called strike 2. Abraham's 0-2.
Schmela, a little bit of a reach for that. Didn't really slide out to potentially block it. Caught it right at the top of the dirt. Needs to be careful there.
Runner goes, and it's touched foul by Stein. So Schaff will head back to first, and it'll be another 1-2.
Pitches, 5 fastballs. Clearly a steady dose of breaking balls to these right-handers.
Just fouled back by Stein. And he hangs in there for one more. Watchful eye, and Stein gets it to 2-2.
Maybe just a tick off the inside edge based on the way Schmela caught that. Pretty good miss in a 2-2 count.
There goes Schaff again. Stein drills it out to center field, but Dowd, a quick step backward, beats it to the spot and retires the side. Take a peek around the ACC elsewhere today. Virginia, with a win over Virginia Tech, clinches the series over their in-state rival. Miami up big on Duke, looking to force a Game 3 tomorrow. How about Boston College? The Eagles force a decisive Game 3 with a win over number 10 NC State. And then Clemson is up, trying to get one from the series against Georgia Tech there at their own Doug Kingsmore Stadium.
Georgia Tech could put a cricket number up there quick, right? The way they're playing right now.
Yeah, no doubt, right? You don't necessarily want to assume a 7-run deficit in the 8th is it for them, as crazy as that sounds. Florida State up 1-0. And a ricochet foul back into the backstop for Brody DeLamielleure. 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. It's been that kind of a day for most hitters in this game. Evan Jones misses with the slider, 1-1.
You know, both staffs have thrown a heavy amount of off-speed stuff and have commanded it. And then they're matching that up with some plus fastballs, and suddenly hitters are having some 0 for 4s.
Fastball in there for strike 2.
And that's just kind of an effortless 96. Again, that lower slot, that ball's got really good arm side movement, good tail into the right-handed hitters. And that breaking ball going the other way just makes that plate feel like it's 36 inches wide to the hitter.
2-2. Swing and a miss. DeLamielleure could not reach out and get it. Fourth strikeout for Jones, 15th for Wake Forest pitchers today.
DeLamielleur's seen 21 pitches. He's seen 19 breaking balls. Or 19 off-speed pitches.
And as we've mentioned, Wake Forest's starter throws 100. That's bounced and gloved foul by Lewis. Which, knowing that there's the possibility that you could see that, I mean, that kind of intensifies the impact of good off speed.
Yeah, and of those 19, a whole lot of them, 19 breaking balls, a ton of them have been thrown in the zone against them. So that's one of those days you kind of tip your hat to the other staff and say, I'll get them tomorrow.
0-2. They get 1 and 2 to Braden Dowd.
A 91-mile-an-hour changeup with really good late arm side run and some sink to it. Good miss. Now we run that slider in the other direction and again make that plate feel like it's 30 inches wide.
2-2 from Jones. And he hit the batter down. It got him up on that lead arm.
Two out, hit batter after an 0-2 count. If I'm not planning on making a move here, this is a trip to the mound for me, just to regroup, help him get away from that last pitch, knowing he had the guy 0-2, clear that hitter. Schmela with a great at bat earlier in the ball game to make it the 1-0 score it is.
And he looks at strike one. Schmela 1 for 3, solo home run. There goes the runner. Taken for a strike. The throw off target. And Dowd is safe with the stolen bag.
Boy, great jump.
His second stolen base of the season. And now a runner in scoring position.
Really good jump. He was going a tick before Jones started his delivery. Great read right there.
One ball, 2 strikes to Schmela. Goes down swinging. And that's out number 2.
Clearly that breaking ball is looking like fastball to right about a foot in front of the plate, and then it's just darting late. He's getting some really bad swings on balls that are well off that outside edge to the righties. Well placed and great late bite to it.
Eli Putnam can't contact the first pitch. Rolled over on an infield single to third in the 5th inning. No swing at the same thing, the slider, and it's 0-2.
That's an unhittable spot right there. Knee high, outside edge, maybe an inch or 2 off.
Keenan has to slide into the opposite batter's box.
You know, Keenan clearly was having pitch com issues there.
Yeah.
He was trying to get something. I don't think he knew what was coming there.
Yeah, you see him holding the side of his catcher's helmet there prior to this pitch. Lined right back up the middle. Putnam singles. It brings in a run as Dowd scores to make it 2-0.
That breaking ball wasn't hung. It just stayed over the middle part of the plate long enough for Putnam to get the barrel to it. Might have even gotten on the inside edge a little bit. Boy, and a really strategically important stolen base by Florida State in that half.
Yeah, Dowd stole after he was hit by the pitch a couple of pitches before Schmela was retired via the strikeout for out number 2. So they had a couple of opportunities there. And Putnam comes through. 1-0 to Will Bavaro.
Good baseball inning here by Florida State. the stolen base. Great at bat by Putnam with 2 strikes. Took a pretty good breaking ball, kept put it in play.
And in a game, too, Coach, where it feels like the difference between 1 run and 2 is a lot larger than it is.
Huge.
On the inside edge, strike 2 for Jones. Wake Forest trying to keep it where it is at 2-0. They've got the top of the order coming up in the bottom of the 9th. Fought off foul by Bavaro.
That breaking ball probably had the least amount of action to it. You can tell by Jones's response, he was lucky that wasn't a worse result, no more than a foul ball. That ball was kind of sitting over the middle part of the plate.
Stays up high, runner goes. Keenan's throw on the money, but the slide snuck in under Stein's tag.
Looked like a delayed steal.
So as it stands, Putnam is safe. You saw J.D. Stein go to the earmuffs motion, the universal symbol for, hey, let's take another look at it.
He tagged him on the shoulder. Hard to, maybe the hand got in.
Well, certainly Keenan put the throw on a dime so that Putnam slid right into it. The issue is, was it too deep toward the bag so that Putnam already had a hand at second base?
And I think it was it sounded or appeared to be a delayed steal, and I don't know that it was a perfectly timed execution by Putnam.
So again, on the left of your screen, you're seeing exactly what the officials are looking at.
Throws there. Goes to the shoulder.
The pause there makes it look like both the glove and tag are being applied, and Putnam's left hand is on the bag.
Yep.
At almost the exact same time.
I think it goes back to another call. I don't know that there's enough there to switch it. The whole play unfolded kind of slowly. Great throw by Keenan. If it stands, I think it's fortunate for Putnam because I think he got just a little late off the blocks.
Well, and again, it was bang, bang. It could have easily been called on the field as an out. And then we're probably in the same situation, but deferring to what the call on the field was.
And so if you're, Travis Godette, a little bit on the first base side behind Putnam as he gets to the bag. Looks like he's got a good look at the hand. Where's the glove in relation to that? That glove's certainly got to disappear from his view.
Yeah. And I misspoke earlier. That's Schaff, the second baseman, applying the tag. I think I said Stein earlier. Either way, just a frantic sequence there. All things considered, like you said, Keenan delivered a great throw for as chaotic as that split second was. And the call stands. Putnam safe after stealing second base for Florida State. The pitch was ruled a ball, so it's now 2-2 on Will Bavaro.
I'll bet you my house we're seeing a breaking ball here. I was wrong. That was wrong.
Full count. Where are you going to live now?
I need to call my wife real quick.
There's ball 4. All right, so you were just a pitch late. They're at first and second. And Cal Fisher heads to the plate. Just as the jump from 1 run to 2 felt big for Florida State, stopping it at 2 and not letting it get to 3 feels massive for Wake Forest.
Boy, an 0-2 hit by pitch to start it. 2-strike base hit by Putnam. After a well-timed stolen base. Again, a good baseball inning executed by Florida State thus far.
Skyward into right. Luke Costello running up and pulls it in for the final out of the top of the 9th. Wake Forest down to their final 3 outs, trailing by 2 with the top of the order up. Final chance at the plate for the Demon Deacons, still in search of their first run of the series. They need 2 to extend it. 3 would win it in the bottom of the 9th.
Be really interesting to see how Abraham attacks Williams, Lewis, and Wentz, who will all swing left-handed against him. He's faced 1 lefty thus far, Schaff. He threw them all fastballs except for what looked like a 3-2 changeup. So he stayed away from his breaking ball, which has been unhittable against the righties and is a pretty tough pitch to hit, period, I think.
Leadoff batter for Wake Forest, Javar Williams, 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts. And he watches a first pitch off speed outside of the zone.
And there was a breaking ball.
On the ground, and it curls foul. 1-1 for Javar Williams.
Strolled over that fastball a little bit. Again, Abraham will get that fastball up there at about 93. Wake knows he's going to be in the zone.
Williams unable to contact it. He's got 2 strikes now.
And there's the changeup. That's the same as the 3-2 pitch he threw to Schaff. Had a little bit of late sinking action to it.
Bounced over the middle. Gloved at second. Putnam's throw in time to get the speedy Williams.
Boy, nice play by Putnam, and he is not playing his natural position. I mentioned last night he played every position in the infield for Davidson. Good exchange. Clearly, Link Jarrett has seen enough athleticism out of him to put him there, and that was a real top-notch play in the middle of the infield by Putnam.
0-1 to Cade Lewis. Yeah, Jarrett, when we talked to him earlier in the week, discussed the infield defense, and he was pleased with it. He said, don't get me wrong, but we're not quite to the point where it's kind of set it and forget it the way it had been for years, it felt like.
You know, and as good as an infielder as Link Jarrett was, I'm sure level of standard is pretty significant for the infielders he runs out there.
No doubt. Abraham with 2 strikes on Cade Lewis. Abraham, bare hand, the throw, there, 2 down.
Boy, I tell you what, Abraham was he was close to being a tick too slow getting rid of that. That's one of those hurry zone balls. You've got to field that as a pitcher, and you might not have time to shuffle your feet. You're going to have to plant with your weight on your backside and just pick that front foot up and get rid of it quickly. He made that closer than it probably needed to be.
This is the first left-handed hitting appearance for Dalton Wentz today, the switch hitter. Aggressive first pitch swing, and it's fouled for an 0-1. Hitting righty in his other 3 plate appearances. A ground ball back to the pitcher and a couple of strikeouts so far today.
Eight balls, 22 strikes. Sorry, 23 strikes for Abraham thus far. There's that changeup he threw to both Lewis and to Williams. Really good miss with it right there. Looking just like his fastball coming out at 84.
To the opposite side and foul. Well struck though, 2-2.
Boy, just like Beard, Abraham's got a bunch of options he can throw here.
And it is rolled over foul by Wentz. He'll see another 2-2. Wake Forest down to their final strike. Abraham trying to close it out and secure the series for Florida State. Chopped right side. Bailey gloves, tosses Abraham, steps on the bag, and Florida State shuts out Wake Forest for the 2nd consecutive day and gets a big, big, big ranked series win.
Boy, as a baseball fan, you cannot be any more impressed than the way Florida State pitched that ball game. The way the game was called, the way it was executed on the mound.
A near flawless start for Trey Beard, and the cap put on by John Abraham, his 7th consecutive scoreless outing for the Seminoles. 2-0, the final score for Dick Cook, our producer Everett Hutto, the rest of our great crew here in Winston-Salem. I'm Darren Vaught. So long. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow on ACC Network for Game 3.